Hey guys, this is Srini and you're watching Python tutorial videos on my YouTube channel Python for Microscopists. In this tutorial, I'm going to talk about automatic segmentation of your images using Multi-Otsu. This is amazing, I should say. It works great on most images, and this is very similar to Otsu, except this does Multi-Otsu, right? So let me again use my drawing board to actually talk about at a high level exactly what we are trying to achieve using Multi-Otsu. Okay, so using regular Otsu, we know that if you have an image, again, an image is made up of a whole bunch of pixels, and at every pixel you have some sort of a pixel value. And when you plot it, you get a histogram of pixel values. And if you have a very nice image, that you have collected carefully, then you have a nice histogram that spreads between 0 to whatever the maximum value is. For 8-bit, that would be 255, yeah? Excuse me. And you may have used Otsu in the past where it actually finds, this minima between the peaks, but Otsu unfortunately is only a binary thresholding, meaning in this example, it's going to find a threshold right there and give you a value of maybe, I don't know, maybe 80 right here. Then it says, okay, you have a threshold of 80. Then you go back and you say, okay, all the pixels below 80, I'm going to do something with them. All the pixels above 80, I'm going to do something with them. Now think of multi-Otsu is exactly the same as Otsu, except you can define how many you want. Okay. So in this case, you can say, okay, I have two of these, so go ahead and separate this into three regions. Again, two thresholds mean three regions, right? So this is exactly what multi-Otsu is. So let's get to our Spider interface and work with this. But before, again, if you want a bit more technical explanation, the implementation of this multi-Otsu is based on this paper, a fast algorithm for multi-level thresholding. Yeah, this is exactly the same implementation that I have done in the latest version of scikit-image. If this doesn't work, when you actually try to do this on your in your scikit-image in your Python, then that's probably because you have an older version of scikit-image. Go ahead and pip install the latest version, which is 17 or later. Okay, so this is the paper. Again, it gets into the math if you love math. Okay, and you can read all about it at your leisure. But let me go ahead and show you how we can actually use it in Python. And as usual, let's start by importing libraries and reading the image. So I'm going to read an image called bsc.jpg. This is the same image I keep using in all of my tutorials. In fact, let's just go ahead and plt.imshow the image, uh, so you know exactly what we're dealing with. Okay, so let's run this code. And here is the image. And in fact, if you see cmap equals to gray, then you should see the image in grayscale. So you may see that, okay, we have one region up there, two, three, and four, maybe five. One, two, three, four, and maybe five. Yeah. So we may have these many regions. So let's go ahead and apply multi-Otsu threshold. So the way you do this is very simple. We already imported it up here. Okay. So from scikit image filters, import threshold underscore multi-Otsu. So all we are doing is now assign that to a variable once we do this threshold. So let's paste this. Let's run this one more time. And now up here, you can see, okay, we have four thresholds. Okay, so I said I want 5 classes, which means 4 thresholds, right? So the threshold number 1 is at 52, the second one is at 90, third one is 133, and the last one is at 202. In fact, at the end of this, let's actually go ahead and plot the histogram and actually look at these where these thresholds are located to see if it makes any sense or not. Okay, so okay, so far we only have thresholds, right? I mean, we haven't segmented the image yet. And there are many ways to do this segmentation. And one way is let's go ahead and use the NumPy functionality called digitize. And this actually segments your or digitizes or segments your original image into multiple classes based on the thresholds that we have defined here. Okay, so this is what our regions are. And again, if I go ahead and run this, you can see our regions now. Let me go ahead and open this. You have a whole bunch of zeros. There should be ones, twos, threes, fours, and fives. Okay, so here you see 1, 2, 3, and so on. So in other words, each pixel, it's either assigning it to a value of 0 or 1 or 2 or 3. Yeah, so this is basically your segmenting. Now let's go ahead and output our image. If you look at this, our image is in I mean, our regions are integer 64. Now let's actually bring them back to ubyte, okay, which is 8-bit image. So if I actually run this line, you can see that now our output image is a unsigned integer 8, which means now I can save it or view it or do anything with this output. So let's go ahead and save. In fact, let me copy a whole bunch of lines to save and also to show. Okay, so all of these lines is just to format my output into a nice grid so we can visualize it. Okay, so we were up here, so I'm just going saving this image as JPEG, and then we are just looking at the histogram with bins, with the thresholds overlaid on top of it, and we are also looking at the before and after images. So let's go ahead and run this. And here you go. I should have actually increased the size of these images, but hopefully this should give you an idea. So here is the original image, or histogram with all the thresholds, and you see how amazing of a job it actually did. The first threshold is right here. So this is my peak number 1, peak number 2, a little peak 3, 4, and then I have the bright pixels over there. And all the corresponding regions are shown in this little image. Of course, you can always look at where am I saving it. I'm saving it in images over there, and I have a whole bunch of these images and Otsu segmented right there. Okay, so you see your region 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very nice segmentation. So go ahead and test this on your own images, and I hope you'll get decent results. If not, of course, resort to other types of segmentation, which is again traditional machine learning, which I already covered in one of my previous tutorials, or deep learning, which also again I did cover that as part of one of the previous tutorials. I hope you found this tutorial to be useful and educational. Please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. It definitely keeps me encouraged to do more such videos, and thank you very much for your attention.